is Ayana Lehi, and I'm delighted that you are here with me. In this moment, we are diving into Light Mastery Academy, into our theme in this class, Misusing the Power of Anger. Anger is a deep, red, vital life energy that emerges when we feel that we are not being seen, heard, or received. Anger is connected to existence. If you disk somebody, if you ignore what they're needing, their biological human response is going to be that of anger. Anger is in all of us, because anger is tied to existence, and we are all on an evolutionary track. And in the Spirit Gateways Institute, you are reunited with your soul essence, the soul that you are, the core energy, the light that you are, so that you can then navigate your human consciousness, your mental body, emotional body, right through your energetic physical body to touch into your spiritual truth, the real you, the real unification. As little kids, we are in an awakening process of reuniting with life, with the world. The world meaning the way that we interact, the way the world interacts with us. We get to know who we are. And when that process of getting to know who we are, who you are, is stifled, repressed, shut down, ignored, denied, you feel abandoned, you feel betrayed, you feel rejected, because we come in here in order to evolve our relationship with life itself. So anger is passed from generation to generation, and it just takes one person, maybe you're that one person, to awaken from the lineage of anger. And anger is used as a power over, and that power is a false power. And anger is derived from the humiliation and the shame of not having your own existence recognized and honored. To exist means that you have a place in the universe, in the one verse of the universe, that your relationship to yourself, to the other, and to the world is based upon how you feel you have the freedom to express being you. So let's say that you have a father who has to always have the last word, who has to have you be what he needs you to be so that he feels good about himself as a father. And if you try to leave that construct, that box, you are somehow reprimanded, you are made wrong for being who you are. And to become who you are, you have to work through your biological response that will feel like anger. What happens when you don't want to face the source of that anger? What happens when you don't want to face having to confront a person who is violating their role with you? What do? So for them, they're misusing power. They're misusing their ability to evoke anger in you but repress it. That is the continuation of the lineage of how anger is used to manipulate. And when I use this word manipulate, I've noticed that A lot of people get really upset. They don't want to feel like they are being manipulated. And the last thing they ever want to think about is that their father is being manipulating. Because we want to love our parents. So the dilemma, which raises more anger, is how do I love someone when their way of being with me is truly selfish and it is being abusive. Abusive meaning that it is violating my relationship with my existence, my life, and my ability to open up and to be received for exactly who I am. And through being able to explore the world in a very creative, open way, what happens is that you give yourself, you give others, you give a child, you give a colleague, you give a partner the opportunity to grow and to discover the source of who they are. Now, once we discover the source of who we are, we don't want to leave it. It feels so good. And anger isn't part of the picture. But to get to that place where source feels so good, you can either bypass all those feelings, the stuff, but I'll tell you, they come up when you're in an intimate relationship, when you're in a work situation. You can bypass anything because as a human being, you have enormous power. Now that power will find whatever channel it can find to make its way through. And if the interior of your emotional, physical body has doors that are shut where the channels are closed, your anger is going to find a channel in another way. It's like the way that water runs. It will dig its own ditch. It will find a way through. A lot of times that anger, when you do not allow it to be experienced from its source as pure energy, will manifest as anger. And because you will not want to be like the parent, whether it's a father figure, a grandfather, a mother, a grandmother, an aunt, a teacher. You don't want to be seen as an angry person because you don't want to be seen or feel like the person who has misused their power, your parent. And I'm using the analogy of the parent as an important archetype because most of us are not taught to parent to really support the child. So if you are someone who has not been supported to really be truthful to the essence of who you are, and you had to bypass, create that water ditch to bypass who you are, there's a feeling that happens after quite a while of having lost yourself, because it takes energy to be whatever we choose to be. So as we leave the source of our true existence, we start creating a separate reality. And we can convince ourselves that our separate reality is our truth reality. So what happens? We feel angry about being separate from ourselves. And our anger is now turned against ourselves, or very subtly against the world, one another. When we leave ourself, we create inner anger. We create an unspoken violence. The shame and the self-blame that we create in ourselves because we believe that when another person is judging us or putting us in a box, and we have to, out of choice of staying loved by that person, we will conform to that energetic dynamic, that configuration of control, until we get whittled away and there's less and less direct access to the point of power that is inside of ourself. That point of true power is the oneness and the reconnection in yourself. So I'd like to invite you, those of you who are really connecting into, well, how do I work with my anger? What do I do? You want to see, you want to meet, you want to dialogue, you want to write, you want to invite in through the Spirit Gateway soul reconnection process, which is where you move into the light 10 to 20 feet above your head, you reunite with your light, and you look for, down through the core channel inside your body, that part of yourself, all the way into the base of this core channel. It's an elevator shaft corridor in your body. You want to look for that part of you that got stuck in the humiliation, in the shame of being told in whatever way it was, through words, through actions, through being abandoned, betrayed, rejected, judged, criticized, humiliated. And we see the humiliation everywhere right now, and it's to help us. That humiliation has become part of the norm, but it's not normal. It's a disease. And the humiliation of one person to another, one race to another, one sex to another, it's violence. It's the turning against. And so my invitation to you is to turn towards, to come back in and meet the you that has been humiliated, the you that has been shamed, and lives in fear of being judged, ostracized, and cast out. Listen to your inner voice. Dialogue, listen, grow silent, write, take a walk with the you that needs a big embrace, that has felt alone, and invite this part of you into your body, into the matrix of light that is inside of you that, yes, you learn about in the Spirit Gateways. Tribe transformation and one-on-one mentoring, that's where you go full in. So I invite you to honor your anger, listen to it. Be kind to yourself, be kind to one another, and know that that anger is a power to be made use of in a wise way, because it's a pure power, it's a strong power that needs a healthy channel to express itself without it being the anger that is self-indulgent, without the anger that's all about oneself. This is about unifying, reconnecting first with you so that you're showing up in the source truth of who you are, so that you can make the greatest difference that you came here to make in your family, in your work environment, your relationships, and with those people who are really important to you, and all of the unknowns that happen in your life can then be resolved through your presence and the stature of self-dignity and self-love from within inside of you. Thank you for joining me in this class of Light Mastery Academy, and inviting you to come to my website, ayanalehi.com, to learn more about all of the programs. Sending you much love.